make sure I have my phone charged before we record.
I try to.
And so, but I was thinking about getting the wireless charger and then buying like the clip stands that they
Yeah.
have and just probably gluing it onto the stand. That way, when it's in the stand, holding it on the sides, it'll be charging.
Well, I think they make one already.
Do they? Okay.
We're trying, we're trying to, we're trying to build something.
Yeah.
So it
Build this
exists,
up.
bro.
It
We
exists.
could just, you could just
Hey,
buy it, dude.
that's just the Mexican in us, bro.
Nah, hey, I
Hey,
got,
it's that hood stuff, man.
say I got it at home. Okay,
I
I
gotta love
got
it.
a
We
Mac.
we got MagSafe at home. That's what it
Yeah, we got MagSafe at home.
is.
All right, it's just glued onto a.
Yeah. It's just think.
Shoot,
Man.
man, today's been crazy, dude. Like I thought I'd be like available sooner
Yeah.
because it's a whole story, man. But here we are,
Grown man stuff, man.
grown man things, doing
Grown
grown
man
man stuff. You know what I'm
things. Doing
saying? Like
grown man stuff.
you
Uh,
only take like 30 minutes for lunch.
yeah.
You're eating in the car while you're
You,
driving. Like
you're doing five things at once while you drive.
mhm, grown man things. Yeah, you know what I'm
You're
saying?
doing
Like I'm over
anything.
here.
You're doing everything else but driving while driving.
Yeah. Forget texting and
We can
driving,
take
dude.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
over here, like I'm on a laptop.
It's like there's a commercial. I don't know what it was for, but I know there's one where it's a lady who has like a whole office set up in her car, and she's like sending stuff, printing stuff out, has all these sticky
Dude,
notes.
I was in an Uber just recently, and this
Yeah,
guy that was giving us a ride had like a music stand, like you know how you a legit music stand, like the
yeah,
one with the little the metal line outline.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
he had it set up on his passenger side seat. It has like it was on a stand, like the legs were
yeah.
on the floor, and he had an iPad set up all the way across his in the passenger side, and he was over like talking to
DJing it
me.
up.
Dude, I was like, there was no reason for him to have it up. He was like, "Oh, let me set this up real quick," and he started
Yeah,
pushing on it. And I was like, "There was nothing on there." He was like messing with it, and I'm like, "It's just a screensaver, dude." He was just
yeah,
like, "What do you want? The extra light from the?"
yeah. From
the
the iPad.
Dude, he was risking all our lives.
Uh,
I was like, you know what? I don't ever give less than 5 stars in an Uber, but it's about to go down.
you gotta look professional to have people think you're
Yeah,
professional.
yeah. It's like,
It's
oh
like, hey,
yeah, yeah.
if this makes you look professional, people will think I got stuff going on.
Yeah, like this man is busy.
He's
Okay,
man,
he's
he's
a
busy.
he. Oh
Uh,
snap!
did you check out the pictures and stuff?
I know I hadn't had a
Uh,
chance, dude.
uh,
I hadn't had a
yeah,
chance yet. I did see the. Wait, maybe I should do it right now, Joe Angel.
maybe.
I mean, I do
Bam, bam.
a smartphone.
A smartphone.
Oh, Snap Photoshop. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta
Walk
gas,
through it, daddy.
dude.
Oh yeah. Hey, the other one. I mean, is there only one? I only see one.
That was just the one.
Okay, because you know what? I mean, we should write it down, but we gotta make a school is cool one.
School is cool. Oh yeah. That's what I was thinking
Uh,
about too. Like school is cool. I thought about this one because I always say it. The like I said stuff like that. Make it one.
stuff like that. Stuff like
Like I
that
said
is.
stuff like that. Uh,
uh, yeah. We can make a guac talk one.
the guac talk. Yeah, the
We got
guac
a guac
talk.
talk. I gotta put myself
Yeah,
on do not disturb here.
yeah,
I'm getting blown up. Okay.
yeah. Blown.
Uh, Speaking of which, maybe I should save it for the actual podcast. But I did pick up. I didn't pick it up. I didn't. No, I don't want to make it sound like I actually grabbed one for later. But I was in a library and they had this like youth or teen like reading. What do you call it? Like a book club.
Section book club.
No, it was a book club, and they had like a little poster, and the book they were
Yeah.
reading was oh my gosh, dude. I hope the podcast doesn't go like this, okay? But it might. It might, Joe.
Right.
He has a sword.
Bleak.
No, oh my
Uh,
Demon Slayer. Demon
Demon
Slayer.
Slayer. Okay, yeah, yeah.
They're reading Demon Slayer as their
Their
book
book of
club.
the book.
And it was sitting there, and I picked it up and I thumbed through it, dude. dude.
Crazy.
I'm like crazy. It was the first, the first
Yeah.
episode, pretty much. The
Yeah.
first episode we're watching. I'm looking through it. I'm like, dude, this is like, this is it. This was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, they had the
That's
self
it.
talk. They had
Yeah.
even the way it started. Like the first panel was like the beginning
Yeah.
of this like the flashback or something like that. It was like, dude, I was like watching it. I was looking at it. I was like, oh, it's like
Yeah.
watching it. It's like it's all in black and white, but
Yeah.
they had every bit of it. It looked exactly the same. It felt the same. I was like, they really did capture this stuff. It was like, I don't know. It's interesting because the departure is not, there's no real
Yeah,
departure
no,
there.
like I
No,
said, there's only some stuff, like I said, whenever it translates from it,
mm-hmm,
they'll tone down some of the stuff because sometimes, like with like the manga and stuff, it'll
mm-hmm.
be a little bit more bloody or
Yeah.
some more like over heavy stuff, and like sometimes they'll tone it down in the anime, like especially like with fight scenes, like people will be
Mm-hmm.
like missing limbs or getting sliced in half, but they'll like super tone it down for the anime. And
Okay.
then even like sometimes though, like with the fan service, it'll be done like it'll be up to more in the anime versus in the manga.
Okay.
So
Interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I was just like, wow, this is it's not too far away. Like I could see how you could just jump into the manga and go,
yeah,
yeah,
but
like but I just
yeah,
fill in the blank, look,
feeling like
read the manga and
yeah,
it's you're not much different except for there's a little bit of color.
yeah.
Dude, be proud, Joe Angel. Be proud. I'm
I
closer.
am proud. So
I'm
you're
closer.
getting there. We're getting there. We'll
All
get there.
right.
Yeah,
All
all
right.
right.
We get there.
We get
Uh,
it. All right. Let's do this. The boy and the beast.
Let me see my notes
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Still got a good amount of my pencil, Joe Angel.
Good
So
amount
we're
still
still
there.
so we're
We're
still
still we're
doing
still we're
the
still good.
we're still doing the anime.
We're still doing that. Yeah, I don't know if you can see like how scribbled and my notes are.
Oh
Like
no.
it's all just that's why
Yours
I'll get lost.
yours
Cause
are
like I have like quick handwriting to where it's like short and I'm writing stuff down and I'm just like
uh-huh, uh-huh.
I gotta go back and like, okay, what did I mean when I wrote this? What did this mean?
Look at
What
my
am I
hey,
saying?
I got one page and I dedicate to one page. So like if I see
Okay.
something if I'm done with like the whole page, I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I guess I'm not writing it down.
There, I guess we're done.
We're done. I got more notes that I should take a note of that. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what, forget it. I'll just chalk it up as
It
it's
does.
not interesting. It's
Yeah.
not interesting. You forget
It doesn't
it.
matter. It's crucial to the plot point, but it doesn't matter.
But yeah, we'll just take it out. We'll just take
Okay.
it out like a movie.
All right, let's do this in three, two, and one. Hey everybody, welcome back to Anime Me Podcast. It's me, Joandrew, with my co-host Sal, and we want to wish a happy late Father's Day to all the big daddies out there because
Oh,
yesterday was Father's
yo,
Day.
I
So
just
yeah,
got it. I just put it
yeah.
together. Every time we
That's
do
why I
this,
texted you the other night. I was like, "Hey,
with
I'm throwing an audio because I forgot."
dude, yeah, and
It snuck up on me.
it snuck up on me too
Yeah,
just now. I just got it. I'm like, oh, now I get why
yeah.
we watched this. Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah.
but real quick though,
Real quick.
Anime Me is a podcast where we teach you how to love and watch anime. Actually,
Boom.
it's Joe Angel teaching me how to love and
Yeah.
watch anime. And you know
But
what?
he's but
We
you're
out here.
getting there because you
We're
just
getting
told
there.
me. You told me
Dude,
you read your first manga.
hey, I was in another city and they had like all kinds of like anime culture. They had I went to a bookstore. Oh dude, I went to this clothing store and it was all like Japanese inspired like clothing. We're talking like kimonos and like but it was like
Chewbacca
this
mother.
guy, dude,
Yeah.
what a dude. Like it was this guy was like hand sewing this stuff in the back, but he was like doing it like it was like streetwear. So it was like Japanese inspired, but like new age. It was so dope. But the stuff was like crazy expensive. It was so expensive, dude. I was like, I want all this stuff.
Yeah.
And this lady just walked in and she started like just throwing clothes. She wouldn't even look at it.
Yeah.
She goes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
She
Boom,
was
boom, boom, boom.
she was up to like $3,000 worth of clothes, but she had a coat and a pair of pants. I was like, oh my
Oh
gosh,
gosh.
I can't afford this, dude. I can't afford this life, you know?
If I struggle between buying socks and underwear, I know I can't
Yeah.
afford that.
Yeah. I could have probably afforded a handkerchief, but I was like,
Like,
do I want a
yeah.
$100 handkerchief? I don't know if I do. But I'm getting there, Joey. I'm getting there.
Getting there, getting there. And with being there, in honor to celebrate Father's Day, we watched another movie by the director of the last movie we watched. So this one is
I,
called The Boy and the Beast, directed by Soda Marumo, who directed our Mother's Day episode we did, Wolf Children.
you
Same guy.
know, I felt some stuff. Like I felt like there was some
Yeah.
similarities. Now that you told me this, I'm like, okay. One, first thing I thought was, I mean, we talked about furries. Okay. I don't know anything about it. I still don't know. And you know what?
So the, yeah,
You know how I do. I refuse to learn.
yeah.
Okay. Uh, but Joe, if you want to do that, I could see you now. You don't have
Mm,
any kind of coat on. You don't have a mask
mm.
on. You don't look like a furry. But I wouldn't be surprised the next time we do this face to face. You're in
Full furry.
full furry. Yeah, you know, like, you know what? I mean, that might entice people. Like, say, we decide to go. Hey, actually, we're gonna go ahead. I mean, we're working our way there. Maybe
Yeah.
this will be like a video, podcast. But if somebody wants to see, real life,
Right.
is there a podcast out there where somebody's doing a furry?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, there are actual like furry conventions you can go to.
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah,
surely that they're doing podcasts
yeah.
as a furry. Like,
I akin it to like the medieval stuff because
okay,
like over here where I'm at, there's like a bunch of like medieval like fairs and stuff like that. Like I
Renaissance
know one of
fairs.
my Renaissance fairs. I know one of my coworkers was talking about going to one. I think that's gonna be in August or something over here.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like, bro, you gotta go. It's so cool. I was all like, I seen water models and it looked pretty fun.
yeah,
I watched a documentary about LARPing and that looks really cool. I want to get into it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was in Hawkeye. Like it's enticing me
I
to
went.
go.
I went.
You
I mean,
did?
dude. I mean, like we love turkey legs. Who doesn't
Yeah.
love like
Yeah. Good
eating?
old turkey leg. Come on.
Eating with your hands.
Yeah.
I'm for it. You know what I'm
For
saying? I love the garb. Everybody does look like they smell a little bit. I don't know if I'm in on that, but that you take a bath like once a month if you're like a
if you're
legit
lucky, yeah. If you're rich.
yeah, if you're rich, if you can
Yeah.
afford
Read
soap.
it. Boom. Oh, man.
Okay,
But
we talk
anyways,
about the Boy and the Beast.
the
It's a
boy
it's
and
a
the beast.
it's a love letter to fathers out there.
Yeah.
I just got it
We
after the whole thing. I'm
just got
watching it. It got me in the feels. It got me in the feels, just like
it
the
got me
last one
too.
did. Did it get you? Have you
It
seen
got
this
me.
before?
I had seen a trailer. I hadn't like gotten around to watching it. Because it like just yeah, I saw it, put it on my list. I know I watched this other one, Summer Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did another one called Bell. Like he had like a bunch of movies come out that I was like, all right, I gotta watch these. And there's other stuff coming out. So I finally got around to watching it, and I was like, yeah, doing it.
Dude, doing it. I mean, this man. First thing though, I want to get out there. Rin, our protagonist, or Kyuta,
Yeah, cute.
he definitely has lice. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. Let's let me let me. I mean, tell me I'm wrong.
I
Tell me I'm
try
wrong.
to. I mean, when he found him, he was in the streets.
He
I
was in the
mean, come on.
streets.
What
He was
street
in the
kid
streets.
do you know that did not have lice? All
I
street
mean,
kids
come
have
on now.
lice.
I mean,
Yeah,
there was even clean kids that had
yeah,
lice. All right,
yeah,
all right. Before we get too far into it, let me give us a let me give us
yeah.
a the synopsis.
Synopsis. Go for it.
All right, Kyuta. How do you say this?
Shibuya.
Shibuya, Shibuya. All right. When Kyota, a young orphan living in the streets of Shibuya, stumbles into a fantastic world of beasts, he's taken in by Kumatetsu, a gruff and rough, around the edges warrior beast who's been searching for the perfect apprentice.
Boom.
Boom. They it is. Uh,
The it is.
now that you say that this is like the same, or this is the same director,
Yeah,
like I had to look it up. One, Shibuya is an actual
yeah,
place.
yeah.
Beautiful. It's crazy.
Like
Wild.
that place you'll see a lot in all across animes. It's like
Okay.
the bridge. It's like the stairs. Like it's one of those famous landmarks that are in almost every single anime you
It
will watch.
makes, it makes me think of Times Square in New York.
Yeah.
If you're watching a movie and it's set in New York or it's set, like you're
Yeah.
gonna see Times Square.
You can see
You
Times
know,
Square, you're gonna see Grand Central Park, you'll see something. You see
Yeah,
something New York.
you very that's very so like that this is taking place in Shibuya and it's beautiful. Like the way
Yeah.
this thing is drawn. Once again, they are I want to say, it's the same director as the last guy,
Yeah.
but the way this one is drawn is a step up, right? Like
Yeah.
it's beautiful and but like the other one, the Wolf, what is it called again?
Wolf Children.
Wolf Children. I wouldn't call it
Wolf
Wolf
Children.
Mother, but I think
Wolf
Wolf Mother is like
Mother.
is a band who I
Yeah.
love. But uh, there were some parts in there where like the way they kind of drew some of it was like it was intentionally a little bit slow or not
Sluggish.
lazy, sluggish. I guess it
Yeah.
would be a better word for it. But this is like yeah, it really feels extremely polished in every
Yeah.
aspect, right? I mean,
Oh
like
yeah.
it's
Like
beautiful.
the flow of it, the movements, down to
Yeah,
like the fighting.
the
Dude, the
fighting,
fight
the
scenes, the choreography for those. Oh,
So
dude.
cool.
So
Yeah, yeah.
good.
I was waiting
Yeah.
for some of this stuff to happen whenever they like he gets kind of gone into the other world and from reading the synopsis, seeing that he's going to be a warrior and all this kind of stuff, you're
Yeah.
like, when is this
Yeah.
gonna
When's this going
happen?
down?
And then you see the first fight and you go, "Oh, I love the way this is like."
Yeah.
Do you have this kind of what's that? Like fencing a little bit. So it's got this kind of samurai, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know how fencing is a little.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for? Like kind of
Uh,
they're like on a line. They're on a line,
yeah,
but it's
yeah.
what's that called? They're
Linear.
linear. Yeah, it's like really linear
Yeah.
or 2D about the whole thing, and the way they kind of move, and there's like slow motion a little bit that's kind
Yeah.
of drawn into it. It speeds up and slows down. Dude, all that is like so cool. It also sounds really great. Once again,
Yeah. Sound
come
design. Awesome.
so good. Like we're talking booming. I don't want to brag or anything, but I spent like $100 on a newer sound system,
Yeah.
and so I've got this subwoofer now, and I haven't dialed it in. It's too loud. The
Do you have it
subwoofer is
under your
too
couch so
much.
you can feel it moving?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like rattling. But I could feel the explosiveness of it all, and oh, it is top to bottom, T to
Yeah.
B, great.
He to me.
Um, the other thing, real quick, is that the way he like Rin ends up, or we'll just we got to stick with one of the names, Kyoto.
Yeah.
Kyoto.
Well,
We'll see.
Ren is his name. Kyuta is the name that Kumatetsu gives him
Yeah,
whenever
Kumatetsu
he
gives
yeah, that's his name. But his I guess his real world name is Ren, and then his Beast World name is Kyuta.
Beast World. I like that
Beast
better.
where
Usually
which
like
I do like the way they show him going through like the alleyway.
yeah.
And like it was like a little Scooby Doo-ish because he was just hopping out at random places.
Yes.
I think did you just watch Scooby
Yes.
Doo?
It is. It's Diagon Alley. It's Diagon Alley.
I got
Like
that, yeah.
it's a little
Man,
Harry
shady.
Potter-ish.
Yeah.
Saying like
Oh,
a
man.
little sketchy. He also
Yeah.
like is like the opposite of the way people pick up dogs. Like a stray
Oh,
dog.
yeah.
Like this way
Yeah.
though, a stray dog finds him and he follows the
Yeah.
dog
Yeah,
as
he follows
opposed to,
the dog.
like he
Yeah,
tells
the
him,
dog
"Hey,
follows
do you
him.
want to come with me?" The
Yeah.
Kumatetsu's just out there in the
Yeah.
world, like a ninja turtle, with
Yeah.
the cloak on. You know what I'm saying?
He's
Like,
Raphael with the hat and the cloak.
yeah,
Come
he's
on.
like, was that a turtle with a trench coat on? I'd be like, hey, is that a dog with a
Is that a dog?
with a hoodie on? He's just out there in
Yeah.
Shibuya like it's a regular old day or something like that.
Yeah.
Picks him up and he doesn't really take him with him, but because he's an orphan, he doesn't have anywhere to go, and he's like,
Yeah.
I think I want that dog to be my dad, bro.
Yeah.
And the place
Seriously.
is called Jutengai.
Yeah, Jun Tengai.
Jutengai. Yeah. They end up in this other world. Beast World.
Beast
They should
World.
have
We'll
just
call
called
it
it
Beast World.
that. They call
Yeah,
it Beast
Beast
World.
World.
Do we want to go ahead and just put spoiler alert on this? We're just gonna talk
Yeah.
about the whole
Guys,
thing.
spoiler alert, as always. You should know by now, guys. Come
You
on, we review
gotta
animes. You
know.
gotta know.
Yeah, we
For those who
talking
haven't seen this movie, we're gonna be spoiling it. So if you want to go watch the movie, hit pause, Go watch it with your dad or your father figure, and then come back and listen to this.
We just cry together, bro.
Just cry
Just
together. Have a
cry.
good
Just
old
like,
fashioned cry.
you know,
When,
ain't
when
nothing
when
wrong
was the
with
last time you cried? Ask that to yourself, and then go watch this and cry.
Yeah, if you haven't cried in a while, put this movie on, you go, and just see how it feels. Just
Yeah.
see how like you'll be better
Remember
for
how
it,
it
I
feels
think.
to be alive.
Dude, yes, and you know what? Squash the evil that's inside of you, because you know
Yeah.
what? All humans have
It'll
evil
come
inside
back.
the. Yeah,
Everybody got it.
you got a dark hole inside your chest. It needs to be filled.
Is
Like there's something to be said about that. Like
yeah.
in this movie, they kind of explore that, and they're in the other world, and all these beasts are like, you can't let this human be in our beast world
Yeah.
because humans are evil.
Yeah, he's evil.
And
He's got
look at him.
darkness in him.
Look,
Look at him.
he got
Look at him.
darkness in him. I
Yeah.
mean, like he's standing around in public, which, by the way, I related so hard. He's just kind of like, as an orphan, he's out in the real world. He's out there, like, kind of wandering. And he's like,
Yeah.
I hate all you people. And I'm like,
Yeah.
same, bro. Same.
Same.
You know, sometimes, sometimes you're at Taco Bell and you see some
Oh,
lady throw their taco at the person who's working there, and she's like, heat these
yeah.
tacos up. They're too
So,
cold.
yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I hate these people.
I hate these people.
Stop. Just stop. Be nice.
Or they had this whole time, you had five people in front of you, and then the one that's right before you waits till they get to the very front to be like, oh, what do they have in the menu? Like,
Oh, forget
hate you
it. I
so
hate you.
much
I
right
hate
now.
you.
I hate you.
We are all Rin.
Yeah.
A little bit
Yeah.
inside of us. We just got a
Little
little
bit.
bit of
Yeah.
little bit of hate in your heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bit.
Just a tiny bit, but it takes a little. It takes a. What is he? I mean, because they're all like beasts.
Yeah. So Kumatetsu is a bear. Yeah,
Okay.
he's a bear because we do have the little like in the intro we do have the setup, the dialogue. It's
Okay.
talking
Yeah.
about these two fighters.
Hmm.
And he explains like one of them being a bear like that's Kamatsu. The other one, Iozan, he's like a boar type character, which it's kind
I
of weird because like he has like a lion's mane, but he has
I was
tusks.
gonna say
Yeah, it's
I
like
was like, is he? I wrote down, is he a
yeah,
lion pig? What is this?
yeah. I was like, what is this guy?
He
Like,
got
first of
a
all, he's dressed
snout.
like Jesus.
He is dressed. He's a lion pig, Jesus lion pig,
Jesus,
Jesus himself.
hey,
Yeah,
Jesus.
he's wearing all white. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this guy's a good guy, or he's rich for one. I
yeah,
think that's the thing, right? Like he's like
yeah,
rich and he's like clean, and this bear like dude, Kuma Tetsu is like poor and
yeah.
a little
Kind
gruff.
of rugged around the edges. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. And
He's the
so
guy that went to go live in a cabin in the woods.
he is, and he's
He's
yeah,
off grid.
and he's trying to find him. So they're both trying to, or they both have to get apprentices,
Yeah.
and are trying to. And part of in
The beginning of the intro.
the beginning of the intro, them trying to like introduce everything, they're like, there's a guy, he's like the greatest warrior, and he wants to ascend as a god,
Yeah.
but he has to choose what kind of god he wants to be.
Yeah, yeah. It's all like it has to do. Part of this has to do a lot with like reincarnation.
Yeah.
And so they had to attain, like, become a lord. And then once they pick a new lord, the previous lord ascends to, I guess, a god or a deity and gets reincarnated as, like, the god of decision making or the god
Hmm.
of warrior, just different types of god
Okay.
dealing with that stuff. And so they're both, so Komatetsu and Ayozan are the predecessors or the ones that are gonna have this fight to figure out which one of them is gonna be the next lord. Because the lord right now is this rabbit guy who's like, these are the prerequisites for you to take over my spot as the lord. Which one of them having to be a good warrior and having pupils. Like those stipulations he gave both Ayazan and Kimetsu. So Kimetsu
Hmm.
is trying to find his people because he's like wants to be the Lord or wants to at least be Ayazan in the fight. And so since he's gruff and rugged around the edges, and with his personality, he's like shut out or shut in. Doesn't really do well with other people. It's harder for him to attain apprentice versus as Ayazan, who's the more clean cut, popular guy who has two sons and knows how to like train and talk to
Yeah.
people and disciples and stuff. And so it's like the guy who like has it and the guy who doesn't have it. It's like the classic story we see all the time. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
thinking like Greasers. I'm trying to think of that movie.
Grease Lightning,
It's
bro.
not Grease. Yeah,
Outsiders.
I was like,
The
yeah,
outsiders.
where it was the two heads of the guys that were friends, but then went on separate paths.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, one of them is a is the soc. He's a socialite,
He's a
and the other
social.
one is
Yeah,
a
he's a social.
yeah,
He's a greaser.
and yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I see that now. Yeah, because he's like Kumatetsu is like he doesn't know how to teach.
yeah,
He's just a rough around the edge kind of like. I'm like, this is the guy. Like I don't. That's the part I was like, this is the
yeah,
guy that's gonna be who's in the running. I'm like,
yeah. This
it's a slam
guy.
dunk. It's
Yeah,
like get Lion Jesus Pig
yeah,
to be like the guy because this
yeah.
guy he ain't it. I mean like he's
Yeah,
like
because everybody else sees
gross.
it. Everybody else is all like, "Oh, it's not gonna be that guy. It's gotta be
Yeah,
this guy." Yeah,
yeah. Everybody's yeah. You could
yeah.
you know they're out in public and they're like this guy, and he's
This
got
guy.
this. He doesn't know how to teach. He doesn't know how to be like a leader. He doesn't. But then he starts to learn, and so they start to teach each
Yeah,
other. Both
yeah.
Rin or Kyoto is both start to like
Teach each
they
other
have
how to like. Yeah,
they're kindred spirits, a little bit, right? Like
yeah,
they're both kind of angry at the world a little bit, or just kind of just angry in general,
mm,
and they have a connection in this way, and they start to see how to like be with each other, how to exist.
yeah,
They have they see that they make each other better.
yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
so good.
so good. Like just little things here and there. Jumping up to where he's in pupil mode and starts like mimicking him, like
Hmm.
his steps of what he's doing, and he's like, and you get the background too of the pig monk. Let's see, Hyaku Shubo. He's the pig
Hmm.
monk. He's like talking in the background because him and the other guy, the monkey guy, Tatara, like they're both kind of like the kind of narrators throughout this because they're
Yeah.
saying stuff that's happening. Like Hyakubusa, he's like while during the training, you're seeing Ren like learning. And when he first goes against Kametsu, he's like he figured out, hey, I followed you and like mimicked you so much, I know what you're gonna do. It's like
Yeah.
so now I could like beat you now. And
Yeah.
that's when that whole thing starts of like, I'll teach you how to learn how to do what I did, but as you had to like actually teach me how to sword fight because I don't know how to
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
I'm still strong. That's
Yeah.
what Kyuta tells
Hmm.
Kimetsu.
He teaches them how to be strong, and the other
Yeah.
he teaches them how to like what is it like telepath, not telepath, but he's like there's a word for it where you
Yeah.
could like kind of like read somebody's movement before they make the move. But
Yeah.
he's able to predict those kind of movements and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Which by the way, so there's a part in there. He's kind of Rin is trying to like he's trying to learn, except for Kimetetsu doesn't know how to he doesn't know how to teach.
Yeah.
And so then Rin hears this voice. He says, "Be like your
Yeah.
like, just copy your master. Like,
Just
just
copy
be like
your
your
yeah.
master." And I was like, "Is this coming from Chico, the tiny mouse
Yeah.
that what's his name is getting lice from? He's got it up in his hair.
Yeah.
He's
Just
he's like
literally the lights are talk to
Ratatouille.
him, man.
He's
He's
Ratatouille, right?
Ratatouille
He's
him.
Ratatouille. He's he's got a little like gerbil. He's got a gerbil in the hair, and he's
Yeah.
like, move left, move
Yeah.
right, follow him. And I'm like, is he like his little like spirit animal, or where did
So,
that voice come from?
okay, so the voice throughout this movie, we'll see like glimpses of his mom. Like that's the Phantom
Okay.
voice you hear is his mom. But when I
Uh-huh.
was doing the research and everything, so I'm not sure how set this is as far as concrete. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I did find, when it comes to Chico, the little pet beast mouse thing,
Mm-hmm.
is that it could be a reincarnation of his mom spirit.
Um,
So his reincarnation when it's because his mom passes away. So it's a reincarnation of her. He came back as Chico's little pet because Chico's always with him from the time he finds him.
yeah.
And like every time there's like he's always there with him, kind of like consoling him in his sad moments. 'Cause you see Chico come out when he's sad, trying to console him,
Yeah.
as like a mom would do and stuff. And so one of the things I found was that Chico's character could also be the reincarnation of his mom's spirit, staying with Chico throughout, staying with Kyoto. And every time you hear those voices, it's like his mom giving him like guidance, almost like, "Hey,
Uh,
do this."
I could see that. I could definitely see that because yeah, you hear kind of this kind of loving like voice. It's a very
Yeah.
soft kind of like, and then he's like that. I don't know what that thing is.
Yeah, I don't know what it
He's
is.
just
I tried to
he's
figure out what
like
it was. It's like a mouse or something. I don't
yeah
know. It's
yeah. Oh,
something.
it could be a marshmallow with eyes. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
yeah.
So it's a marshmallow
It's
with
one of the
eyes.
little it's the Stay Puff from
Yeah, those little
Ghostbusters.
yes, he's a little Stay Puff, mother like fluffy ghost.
Yeah.
The other thing I love about this movie is that it really there are several parts to the movie. Like it I thought I couldn't predict where it was going, and we end up like getting some background on him. He actually grows up. They actually like
Yeah.
he becomes like a pretty powerful warrior. When at first everybody's just like, "There's no way he's gonna," Kyoto can't do this. He's just a boy,
Just send him
and
back. Yeah.
he ends up going back to the real world because he finds the alleyway, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Hold him up! I remember this place.
Hold up. It's
Hold
almost like
up!
it's like when they brought Tarzan from the jungle to New York.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
wait,
yeah,
what? He's like, hold
yeah.
up, wait a minute.
Hold up, something's wrong here." And he finds his real dad, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yo, that
Yo,
is like, this is
what?
like, we got some real moments here.
Yeah.
This
Heavy
is like,
moments.
yeah, it's heavy. I think that's the word. It's just like, hey, he's really gonna like, we're gonna delve into this." And
Yeah.
it's emotional, dude. Like, oh
Yeah.
snap, bro. Like, hey, hold on. How we gonna talk about this without crying, Joe Angel?
I don't know, man.
I'm
Just
crying.
close
You're
your eyes.
crying.
It doesn't. Just
Don't.
close your eyes. Just keep your eyes closed.
Think about something else. Think about
It's
something
like,
else.
it was so that-
Oh, yeah, you were saying.
But yeah, like that first moment when he finds his dad and like
Hmm.
meets him, it's that whole like, hey, do you remember me? Oh, he doesn't, walks away. Then his dad's like, oh, hey, is that you? And like he
Yeah.
runs up and hugs him because like throughout this whole movie, we didn't really get any background on his dad. We just got the
Hmm.
little that his parents were separated and then his mom died, but his dad wasn't there, and so that's when Ren ran away. But so it's like really telling that his dad was like searching for him. Like he tells him like, hey, since I heard your mom died, when I found out your mom died and you were gone, like I tried to search for you. Like I spent this whole time trying to look for you, even after like
Hmm.
they ended the search. It's like I was still looking for you, and he's like elated and like happy and grateful that his son like grew up
Yeah.
and was taken care of, and he's actually like he found them again. And so it's that real like it didn't turn out to be that thing where his dad's like a bum. It was just his dad was just like an actual dad, like he loved them and that he was grateful to find them. And that's like one of those emotional moments, like
Yeah.
a real
A real
thing, like real thing.
Yeah, it's real. It's like it's a real connection. The other thing that is really real is that Kyota starts to act like Kumatetsu. Like he didn't
Yeah,
start to act like he's been raised by him. And
yeah,
so he's starting to pick up these, this
his like
gruff.
qualities.
Yeah, he's, they're still a little bit angry. He has outbursts that he doesn't know why he
Yeah,
feels this way. Like he kind of like, lays into him for
yeah,
a little bit. He lays into his real dad's name. What's his real
yeah.
dad's name? Do you know his real dad's name?
So
Do they even say it?
there's no their names aren't given like his mom or his dad's,
Okay,
and so
okay.
they're just yeah,
So like he has some interactions every now and then where you
yeah.
go, oh, he's got some a little bit of anger in him still, you
Yeah, he
know.
sounds still something like resentment,
Hmm. Hmm.
that from way back then that was still lurking around in him. Which I
Yeah.
do like, whenever he goes into the humor one and passes by. Because in the beginning, when he like running after Komatsu, or no, when he's like ran away and he says that line, there's a line he repeats, I hate them all.
Hmm.
And there's like an imprint shadow effect on the window behind him of
Hmm.
like it's him, and it's like his hate. It's almost
Yeah.
like so there's this thing, side subject, and paranormal stuff and ghost stuff. There's
Hmm.
these things called residual energies that
Hmm.
happen whenever something like really bad or something occurs. So like at Gettysburg, that's one of the things they talk about when it comes to residual, because Gettysburg was a war site. So there's a lot of death, a lot of like heavy stuff that happened that it imprinted into the area. And so that's why you get all these reports of ghosts and stuff like that. So I think that part, that imprint of his hate and his anger was so much that it imprinted on that area and left that there. So every time we go by it or he goes into the weird world, that part of him is still there. And like he can see it too, which is cool.
That is really cool. It's also interesting, and I don't know how much you know about this. Well, I'll go ahead and just ask you, what do you know about Moby Dick?
I
You know,
know a little bit. I know the
uh,
story halfway. When he finds that book, it basically turns into it's all like,
right?
okay.
Yeah, you're right. Like a little bit like he's
Yeah.
it's an interesting there's an interesting motif for like some sort of symbolism that's going on there that I don't I'd have to look a little bit more into it because I know ish about the story.
Yeah.
But I don't know a whole lot because for me in my mind the whole Moby Dick thing he's a white whale. He
Yeah.
is something that is sought after but isn't actually there, and what does it take to actually find it? And
Yeah.
it's interesting, and it made me think, I don't know if I need to know Moby Dick a little bit more to see if there's an actual through line in all this, because we come to find out that what's his counterpart, it's you know.
Ichihiro Hiko.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, Ichiro. Ichiro Hiko is the other apprentice of Lion Pig.
Yeah.
And he come to find
No,
out,
he's his son.
oh, he's his son, but
Yeah.
he's also
Yeah,
teaching
yeah.
him too.
Yeah.
But like I knew it though. I mean, right? You knew immediately, right?
Yeah, yeah. You kind of pick up it immediately. It's all like he doesn't look
Hold
like
up.
everybody else here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody else
So,
is just like playing. He's
yeah.
playing pretend. He is
Yeah.
actual. He's reverse furry. Okay, like
Yeah.
that, right?
Reverse.
Like
Yeah.
he's a
He's like, oh no, I'm just what's it called? Is it the Egyptian cats? The hairless cats?
yeah. He's
He's like, I'm just a hairless pig. He's like, you see
yeah,
cats, right?
yeah. I got a regular nose.
Yeah.
If I wasn't a real pig, why would I be
Yeah.
wearing this hat?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's pretending to be, his actual son, and come to find out
Yeah.
he also has this evilness inside him, just
Yeah.
like they all predicted, by the way. There is something,
They are. Yeah.
there is an
They
interesting
they
thing
do
that's
say
being
animals
said.
can pick up on that kind of stuff.
They can sense the evil, but this whole time they didn't know he was a real human. Come on now.
Yeah. Come on.
Come on now. Nobody else, nobody
Which
accidentally knocked that
going
hat
to
off
that
him.
part real quick. So we get on later on with Ichigo's background is that Agazan, when he was in our world, found him abandoned as a baby.
Hmm.
So he took him in and raised him as his son. But throughout his growing up stage, Iozan kind of like when he would ask him as a kid, oh, and am I gonna grow tusk like yours? Is like, yeah, they'll come in. He starts asking these questions like, hey, how come I'm not looking like you? And Iozan's just like, oh, you're just they'll come in or yeah, it'll happen, don't worry. And it comes to this point, it's like, hey, what he gets to the point where he asks him like, what am I? Because
Yeah.
he himself knows he's not like everybody else there. So he's
Hmm.
asking like, "What am I?" And Amazon's just like, it's on his part where he doesn't really know how to handle that situation,
Yeah.
but he knows how much he loves him and cares for him. So he tells him, you know what? It to him is like it doesn't matter because you're my son. That's who you are. To
Yeah.
me, you are
Yeah.
my son.
It is interesting, like the juxtaposition between the two, because you have this
Yeah,
kind of like, yeah, this almost Jesus figure who's like, he has everything, he's really well put together, and he himself also took in an
yeah,
orphan and
yeah,
is raising him to be his son. And Kumatetsu actually does the
yeah,
same thing for Rin, and he's raising him to be his son. And you have these two kind of like dueling figures,
yeah,
and they both have their own paths, and it's just like it's humanity, man. It really is
yeah,
humanity, because you could do everything correctly, you think you've done everything right, you think you've raised
yeah,
this child right, and then coming to find out there's something wrong with him. Like he's
yeah,
actually, there's something inside of him who
yeah,
is, that's extremely angry. But it's not like it's not completely misguided, because he wants his father,
yeah,
Ichiro Hiko wants his father to like be the winner. He wants him to be the one that becomes
yeah.
Lord, and it's not
Yeah,
like out of,
it's the whole thing with how all kids kind of see their dads and their moms as like they see their parents as superheroes and like,
yeah.
hey, this is like, oh, they're so strong and they're so cool, like they're my superhero. Like you hear a lot of it, who's your hero? My dad,
Hmm.
or my
Hmm.
mom or like the
Hmm.
parental figures, they're like superheroes. So they're in that whole fight scene when they are fighting for the lordship. He's all like Ichiriko's like, my dad has to win. He can't lose. Like he's denying the fact that he can lose. He's like
Yeah.
Ishiro, he cannot lose no matter what. Like he has to win almost. Which
Yeah.
is
And it
when it comes into that eventually his evilness takes over him, and he kill or almost kills Kamatetsu at the end of their battle because he does. That's how much he doesn't want his dad to lose. He's like, no, he can't lose. Like, I will do whatever it takes for him to win.
And he's
Yeah,
consumed by
yeah,
the darkness, and
yeah,
and Rin is almost consumed by the darkness because he
yeah,
sees that his, I'm gonna go ahead and call it his stepdad.
yeah.
He's
His
just
stepdad.
and maybe not the stepdad, but maybe he's just a dad who stepped up. Okay,
He's
bro.
dad who stepped up. Boom.
You know, and he sees him like, oh no, like,
Yeah,
yo, that's, you can't kill my dad. So you see
yeah,
this like dark hole, like kind of almost consume and like
yeah,
bring him over, like take him over. And Marshmallow Mom comes up
yeah,
and like knocks him in the face and goes,
yeah. Like,
hey,
hey,
what are you doing?
snap
Like,
back to reality.
yeah, yeah, like, what are you doing? Like, this
Yeah,
ain't you. And you're having to fight that kind of thing. It's interesting, like there is something I'd love to. I mean, maybe you know a little bit more about it, but the whole idea of like the innate darkness that's inside humanity.
yeah.
Let's get heady about it a little bit, Joe
It
Angel.
get a little
You
heady.
know, we're
We
always
got
at
to on this one, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're always at war.
yeah,
There's always something going on. Like there's a battle. There's a battle within ourselves. There's like, you see, Ichiro, like, it seems like a sweet kid, but he's
yeah,
driven by jealousy, which
yeah,
consumes him and makes him, angry. Rin, just driven by like he has abandonment issues. He
yeah,
thinks that he was just kind of thrown to the wayside.
yeah,
And so like that fuels his fire of hatred. And so there's everybody's, the humanity inside of them gets the best of them, both of those
yeah,
guys. And they have to stave off, they have to like fight against this evil that's inside of them. And animals are just they're a little bit more they're a little sweeter than we are.
yeah,
Because they even said that in there, like, Kumatetsu, like he's gonna be angry, but don't
yeah.
worry, just give it a little bit of time, he'll just get
Yeah, just
over it.
give him some space. Yeah, he'll get
He'll
over it.
forget about it.
Even so Ichiriko's other his brother Jorimaru, like he's the he's also Aizo's son, so they were both raised the same. Kind
Hmm.
of see their dad Aizon as he can't lose. He's super powerful. There's no way he can lose Kotetsu. But going back to where they first like meet Kyuta, Jomaharu is like, oh, I don't like people who are weak, like
Hmm.
because he's
Yeah.
like picking on Ren and stuff. But as time goes on, you see the relationship between them kind of grow more into a friendship because they end up like as Kyuta's getting stronger, he fights him. They kind of have a fight in the play yard, and Kyuta beats him. He's all like, "Oh, dude, you're super strong." It's like, "That's so awesome. You're so cool." He's like, "I
Yeah.
like strong people." He's like, "Come over to my house. Let's hang out." And dude, the whole time it's like they're friends. And then we go to that end scene where Ichiriko does the unthinkable and unsheathes the sword and stabs Kyomatsu. And then that whole time, Yoromaru is like, you know what? It's like, I don't care what you call him. You call him evil. You call him this or that. It's like, he's still my brother. Like,
Yeah.
that's who he always will be to me.
Yeah.
And even afterwards, like at the end when they come back, like they're all there with Ishiriko, and he's just like he's still their family.
Yeah, still family no matter what. And there's also redemption too,
Yeah,
because there's an epic battle at the end. Spoiler. I was
epic
waiting
battle.
for it. Like
Yeah,
we're kind of watching, and I'm kind of like, where is this all going? What's gonna happen? Is this gonna be like? There is definitely a payoff at the end
yeah, dude.
when Kyota and Ichiro Hiko, like Ichiro goes into the human world and
Yeah,
starts wreaking havoc, and Kyota has to go and like find Ichiro and try to stop him.
yeah,
And dude, that fight it's pretty, like,
dude.
it's cool, right? Like, dude, I like the way
Dude,
it
the
looks.
animation on that,
Yes, yes. Like
dude.
he gets thrown. Like
Yeah,
Ichiro's getting the best of Kyota. He throws him
yeah,
into these hanging decorations or whatever like that, and
yeah,
they're like made out of paper. And you're
yeah,
like, oh my gosh, like that looks amazing.
yeah.
Like,
It's awesome.
is this really happening? Is this a documentary?
Which
Dude, am I watching it?
I
Did this really happen?
I do like the crowd reaction because
Uh-huh.
in the crowd in the real world they're just like, which I do believe will happen if that were
Uh-huh.
to happen in real life. You hear somebody say, "Hey, are they shooting a TV show?"
I
Like they're just
didn't hear. I didn't
nonchalant
hear.
about these two kids fighting with swords in the middle of Shibuya, and they're
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh, they must be shooting a TV show."
yeah. There's
Just like
no way
they're,
this
just,
is.
they're watching.
Yeah, he's got like big blue muscular arms that are
Or
like
yeah,
amorphous and stuff. I'm like, I
yeah,
guess this must be a Marvel movie.
yeah. This Avengers 7?
Dude,
Oh,
that battle is so good, and then
dude.
the ending of it, like we go back to the very beginning whenever Kumatetsu is trying to teach Kyota how to like wield a sword, and he's
Yeah,
just like just like this whoosh and then bang, whoosh and then
yeah,
bang. He can't do it, and he's like you need to reach inside your soul,
yeah,
like reach for the
yeah,
sword inside your soul, and Kyota does not get it. He doesn't understand it at all.
yeah.
He doesn't get it until practically the very end of it.
Yeah, the final moment where he like it
Oh,
finally clicks. It's like,
it's
oh
so good
snap,
because
this is it.
because Kumatetsu
Yeah,
he beats what how do I say his name again?
Ayazan,
Iozan. Iozan.
he goes on.
Iozan. Iozan. He beats
Yeah,
Iozan and it becomes Lord.
yeah,
He is Lord, but then he gets stabbed, is
yeah,
backstabbed, and he's in the hospital, and you're like, oh gosh, he's gonna die. But then he's like, you know what? I know I need to help Kyota. Like I know he's out
my
there fighting.
boy, I'm
Oh.
a bad boy. That's all I thought. Like when I saw that scene.
He comes down and he's like, reincarnate me. He
Yeah.
tells what is the Lord the
Uh,
actual the rabbit
I
Lord.
I can't think of his name because they just keep saying Lord.
Yeah,
But
so
it's like because Komatsu is like, hey, like reincarnate, let me reincarnate. He's like, because basically he's telling them like, I'm taking your spot right now because I
mhm.
need to go help my son.
Yeah.
He's like,
Hmm.
I don't care about being Lord right now. I need to go. My kid needs me. I need to go to him. It's like,
Yeah.
so I need you to stay here and give me your place at reincarnation. And so he does that, switches places, and he reincarnates as the as an artifact spirit, and he comes back as a sword and becomes the missing piece in his heart. Because he's actually saying that he's like, I can feel that void inside Kyuta. Like I can feel
Yeah.
that hole in his heart. It's like, so
This
let me do this so I could go to do that.
and becomes the sword in his
Yeah,
soul. Oh,
yeah.
so good. So
So
good.
good.
Oh man, when that came down, it flies down from the heavens and it blows
Yeah.
everything up, and you're like, oh my gosh, dude. I was like, why not come back as a gun, bro? I mean, come on,
Come on.
get yourself,
So we need
get
some
yourself,
bullets. Like
yeah.
this is 2024. Come on.
This is 2024. Get yourself an
Yeah.
AK-47. Stop this whale monster from ruining Shibuya.
Which,
Uh,
by the way, that whale monster, dude, the animation and design
oh,
on that,
so
dude,
cool.
so good and cool.
Like, yeah, he's like a ghostly looking, like, amorphous whale
Yeah.
that's like flying through the streets and kind of going through the ground and then up in the air.
Yeah.
And it sounds amazing too,
Oh,
but
yeah.
the way it looks and comes down and like the way it moves.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is really cool. It reminded me of I mean the animation is so good. It reminded me of Ghibli Studios, like
Yeah.
that it was that level of, because we
Yeah.
that's the pinnacle right there. Like,
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli is like,
Yeah. Top notch.
whatever
Up there.
top notch. Everybody's
Yeah.
trying to aspire to that, and I'm like, I had some feels from that. Like it really is sharp all the way to the very end to that battle, and them going back and forth. It is epic. And for him to come back, I was like, the way they tied it together, because
Yeah.
it's interesting the way, like I was talking about how it was a slow build where you're just kind of like, what's happening? Who
Yeah.
is this? And it, you're watching. I even thinking about Ichiro Hiko, like him kind of being on the sidelines, and I'm like, there's something different about this guy. He's kind of watching from the sidelines, and then he's like
Yeah.
becomes a main part of the story, and then even that little thing that said at the very beginning of him needing to find the sword in his soul, and
Yeah.
that even calling back, like all those things that kind of like culminate into this very ending. It's just
Yeah.
like a master class in story writing, where
Oh yeah.
things get paid off, and things are tied up and sewn together, and you see them see it culminate to like an epic finale that is it's such great payoff. And
So
also we
good.
we learn also they didn't neglect this part in the anime. School is cool, Joe Angel.
School is cool.
School
School is
is
cool.
cool. That's it.
He
I
goes.
mean,
That's the
he was.
first thing he does when he goes to the human world. Goes
He's
to a
like,
book, learns
I
how to
need a,
read, finds
I need a
finds a girl, cute girl, who
cute
teaches him
girl.
how to read,
Yep,
and he ends up
yep.
going to college.
I mean, of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then he stops being a swordsman.
yeah.
That is the most disservice to his father. He's like, "Hey, be the sword inside of you," and then he's
Yeah.
like, "I'm gonna become a
Oh,
computer
a
engineer, Dad.
computer engineer.
I don't want to be
And
like you, Dad."
it does the whole hood movie ending where it's all
Yeah,
like, and he never picked up a sword ever again.
ever again. Yeah. He does the Disney thing, dude.
He does.
He's like, you could be the most epic swordsman of everything. He's like, I don't want to be like you, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a computer engineer. That's what I'm gonna work at.
I got my own dreams, okay?
I got, I want to design websites, Dad.
Oh man, but
Uh,
yeah,
but that's it, man. Like, it is. Is this an old movie? Is this a new movie? I mean,
this
like,
came out in July of 2015.
okay, it doesn't feel
So
that old. It doesn't
no,
feel
it's
that old
still
at
like
all.
the animation and stuff. It holds up.
It is sharp.
And like when this came out, it was the second highest grossing film in Japan for 2015. So and
Yo,
it came out big. Dog.
wow.
It won the best animated feature at the 39th Japan Academy Awards,
Hmm.
and it was just like I said, it was just great movie all around. Um,
That is interesting. I wonder, like in comparison to American films where we're like
yeah,
making more like live action stuff as opposed to, I mean, we do, I mean,
yeah,
Pixar Studios, you can't deny Pixar Studios and
nah,
their presence and stuff like that.
yeah,
But like I feel like we're more live action, but I wonder if there is more animation movies doing big stuff in
uh,
Japan as opposed to live action stuff. Like I feel
yeah.
like I watched, like I don't know of any uh
Live
I'm trying
action
to
Japanese
yeah,
movie.
like big Japanese
Yeah,
movies that make it to America and then get dubbed and you go, "Oh, look at
yeah,
this amazing movie." I don't it's not Japanese, but Parasite or Train to
yeah,
Busan,
yeah, yeah,
like those are like, Korean or you know what I'm
yeah,
talking about? Like it
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
seems like it's
It's
gonna be
like
more
anime or
animation.
animation is like really big
It's the
versus the live
mainstay.
action.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I did watch this in both subbed and dubbed.
Okay.
And
What do you
there
think?
are some I like the dialogue more in the Japanese dub.
Okay.
Only because some moments I feel like hit more than they did in the dub. Because I wrote down some stuff because there are some key differences in the dialogue that
Hmm.
made the scene a whole lot different. Going back to the very first beginning scene where he's in the house with the relatives and they're talking. So in the English sub, it says, "I know you miss your mom, but with the accident, it's only right that her family take you in." And it's them, his family members talking to him, talking to Ren, talking to Kyuta, and they're telling him, "Hey, your mother obviously wanted." And this is where we come into the part where we find out that his mom's dead and his mom and dad were together because they got divorced. In the English when they talk about that part, the aunt saying your mother, because he's asking where his dad is and that why is his dad not there, and they're telling him to forget your dad, and the aunt says, "Yeah, you're like forget about your dad. It's like your mother obviously wanted to because she divorced him and they awarded her custody of you, so you belong with us and not your father." Whereas in the Japanese dubbed, it's actually the conversation goes that when they're talking to Ren in Japanese dub about what they're going to do with him, it says the family head will take you in and look after you. You're the only boy in the whole family on your mom's side, and so you're a precious successor. It's like you grow up not wanting for anything. And
Hmm.
he asks, where's dad? How come he's not here?" And they said, you know that your mom and dad divorced, right? And said the courts awarded her custody to you. He's not family to you anymore. We are. And it's like that change of dialogue I felt was his hatred was more
It's more
uh
founded. It's
it's
more
more
founded.
founded in the Japanese dub than the English dub.
Yeah, that
Because
makes a lot.
also too, their tone too in the Japanese dub, while they're talking to him like he's just like the predecessor or their heir. Like he's just there to have the family name going. Like they don't have. You can tell in their tone of their voice they really don't care. Whereas in the English dub, their tone's a little bit more softer, kind of more caring.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was like that scene with the difference in the dialogue. I felt like it was more grounded for his background of why he ran away, why he had that anger in him, was more grounded in the Japanese stuff. Also, going back to what Kamitsu told him when they were first training, in the English dub, they say he tells them you got to find the sword in your soul. But in the
Mm-hmm.
Japanese dub, he says you have to find the sword in your heart.
Oh,
And so
interesting.
I kind of like the sword in your heart better because it does because it's like that's where his love for comics comes from. Is from his heart. He loves. That's how I feel like it's more.
Yeah, that makes a little
It
bit,
wraps it
yeah.
up more at the end where he comes back as the sword and goes into his heart because he talked to him about finding the sword in his heart, which he did in Kimetsu being his father figure, which is what he was missing.
That is an interesting tidbit. I mean, like that's yeah, I would say the same thing. Like if you wanted to, you have a hole in your heart, but yeah, like it makes tons more sense and there's a little bit more like gravity to the whole thing, especially with it at the very end with him,
Yeah,
putting that sword inside his that the deep dark circle in
yeah,
his chest, which was his heart, and he
yeah,
becomes like his heart. He is, yeah, dude,
yeah,
yeah, I
because
love
like
that.
healed and completed. Yeah,
Man, that is interesting. I mean, that is. I wonder what the translation, like the literal translation from
yeah,
Japanese
Japanese to
to
English.
English, and if that's just the case, and they just decided
Yeah,
to go with soul
yeah,
because yeah, they could have just swapped that out for heart, and
yeah,
it have that a little bit more weight to it. It would carry a little bit more weight to
yeah.
it. That's cool.
And
Hmm.
I did write one thing down. I don't know if you noticed in the background while Ichiriko's chasing Hyuta and Kaida, who Kaida is the girl he meets who teaches him.
Mm-hmm.
As they're running, did you see the Burger King symbol in the background?
No, it didn't.
It's
Uh,
so obviously, and it's not like how they do with McDonald's, where they're like, a McRonald's or Whack Ronald's or something like that.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
It actually says Burger King with the actual yellow and blue circle symbol
What
on it.
is this movie brought to us by
Yeah,
Burger
so
King?
I need to look this up. Like, did Burger King make this movie?
Yeah, hey, you know what? You're the Burger King now.
You're the
That's what
Burger
it is.
King. That's what it is. It's all about becoming the Burger King.
This was a commercial for Burger King. Ah, Joanne, so
Yeah.
it kind of cheapens it, but you know what?
Yeah.
I like that Whopper though.
Hey, nah, Whopper dog.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Like flame broiled, son. He came
they
in with that heat.
broiled
He came in with
ye
the sword on fire, dude. I mean, like
yeah, flame broiled sword.
it was.
Oh, yes.
Oh
And
snap.
I also did find so I found an article that an interview that Hosoda did with
Hmm.
Tokyo Otaku Mode, which is a website where you go find stuff about anime and all stuff otaku. So I'm paraphrasing this quote from him. But they asked him kind of like his ideas and like his kind of inspiration for the story of Boy and the Beast. And I'm gonna paraphrase what he said. It says one of the examples was the birth of his my child. He says, "I'm a father now." It's like, but I was unsure of how to behave as one. He's like, and then you could see kind of my worries, my anxieties in what it means to be a father in one of the characters who does his best to serve as a father figure. So a lot of the stuff that we see with Kometsu and with Ayozan, like just the father, like the kind of anxieties and the worries and just kind of the I don't know and unknown aspects of it were
Hmm.
all kind of like things that Hosuda felt himself when he became a dad. Because it's that whole realization of okay, how do I act like one? What did I learn from the father figures in my life and characteristics, and what do I want to give out to my child? He puts that part of himself into his writing of this movie.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, you really feel it too. You really feel like how grounded and how relatable it all is. Like you can tell like depending on who like your upbringing and all that and how like you see the fathers around you and how they
Yeah,
act and how they oh yeah, I know plenty of dads who are that way or my dad
yeah,
was this way or something like that. You can really, you feel the humanity in it even though he's a bear. But like
yeah. Even though
there's
he's a
a
bear.
reason he literally is a bear though. Like he's a
Yeah.
bear in the way as a character, but then he also like acts like a bear, like
Yeah.
so like if you could almost equate that to your actual father, like you're, oh, my dad is this way, and he's kind of a bear. He who walks around,
Yeah.
he kind of grunts, he's kind of angry all the time, like some people would actually describe that as, or he himself as an actual bear. Like that's really, it's interesting. It gives it more what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more depth. It gives it a little bit
Def.
more
Yeah.
depth in that. All right, bring us home, Joe Angel.
All right. Well, so all this being said, all the animation with all the dad talks, all the Chico stuff, the light stuff. Where are you feeling on this movie? Guac
I
tacos.
Let's guac talk this. It is, I'll be honest, like for the first half of the movie to almost three-quarters of the movie, I was kind of like okay on it, Like it's kind of interesting. Like I really felt like yeah, it's fine. Like I don't know, if you would have asked me like three-quarters of the movie in, would I recommend this for
Yeah.
anybody? And I'd be like, maybe, like if you're into
A,
this kind of stuff, like, like,
yeah.
but the ending though, it just like, because it wrapped up so well. This is the thing about movies. A lot of movies or animated movies or any of these things, they get to these endings and the endings get kind of fumbled, or either things
Yeah.
aren't wrapped up, or they're not, the loose ends aren't tied up the way that you would hope or you wish that it would. And this
Yeah.
one sticks the landing like so well.
Sticks it so good.
So good. So I have to be like, 1 out of 5 swords
One out
taken
of
to the
five
chest,
swords. How many
to,
you
to the
taking to the
chest,
chest?
to the chest. I'm taking at least 4.
Four.
I would give it 5, but like, like for the first three-quarters, I'm like, it's holding me enough. It's
Yeah.
holding me enough to go, yeah, 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 sure, sure. Had we not chosen to do this and go like, hey, you and I are gonna watch this movie and we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
If I was just watching it straight up, just myself, and I was just like push play on the movie and just like
Yeah.
go, I might not have finished it. Honestly, I probably would have got halfway through and be like,
Well, I'll finish this later.
dude, but the
Yeah.
ending, oh my gosh, like you would have to tell me, hey, watch till the end because it's gonna pay off.
Watch till the end.
And
There's
it does.
payoff.
There's payoff. So I'm going 4 out of 5.
Four
What do you
out
got
of five.
this?
I got 4 out of 5 too.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, like I said, it's the whole. I kind of knew, like, okay, once we got into it, I kind of had the feeling, all right, Chihiko's gonna be kind of anti
Mm-hmm.
protagonist. He's gonna be maybe that guy in the background. And then going through the whole transition of Matsu and Kyuta's relationship, watching them grow up, and then him like kind of going back into the human world, and almost it was like it kind of felt like, okay, like he's gonna leave. I caught that feeling, right, he's gonna go back to being in the human world, but they kept him showing him going back and forth, so like, okay, it's keeping me there. And then with his real dad coming in, and then getting more of a, okay, his dad's a good guy because he's
Mm-hmm.
happy, has these feelings for him, and then going culminating to the final battle with Ishikoka and Kyuta, and watching them, it really was Moby Dick at that point,
Mm-hmm.
because it
Mm-hmm.
was the reflection. It was both of them mirroring each other, but
Mm-hmm.
coming out in the two separate paths.
Yeah.
Which is like, I've had conversations about stuff with this with other people, but it's putting two people who've been through the same things,
Mm-hmm.
but they both came out on different sides of it. Ichirika chose to let it consume him and became
Mm-hmm.
evil, while Kyuta fought it off and found stuff to help fight him against it. Because that's part of the main thing too. Is one of the lines is you'll hear a drop in dialogue, but it's kind of one you have to listen to and pay attention, because it does come back to where at the end, because it says, I think it's Hyuga Shubo says it, you can't get stronger on your own, which was Kamitsu's like main thing, is why he was kind of like losing too, because he was doing it
Mm-hmm.
on his own. But he told us that line of, you can't do this, you need other people to do it. And I think Kaida too also reinforces that you can't do this on your own. You need other people to help you. And that's
Mm-hmm.
who Kyuta and Kamatsu become to each other. They become the two pieces that they were both missing to help each other grow stronger.
Yeah, yeah,
And then it culminates to the final battle of the whole at the end, commits becoming the sword in his soul and becoming the part that he was missing. And it just like it turned out, like I said, it got me in the feels in those heavy parts. It made me love it. But I like this is one of the ones I do recommend. I do have a friend who's watched it too, and he's like, bro, this is a good movie too. He's like, it's so good just with their relationship, with dialogue, with the ending. But yeah, this one's a really good one. 4 out of 5
yeah.
for sure.
Where did you hear about this? It says, was this recommended by somebody for us to watch, or?
No, I kind of had already knew what it was and knew
Hmm.
what it was kind of about. But I've had other, like I said, I had a friend who's seen it before too, and he's like, he loves it. And so it's one of the ones where I've heard good stuff about it, and like the only not really any kind of bad things. I just heard stuff for the stuff we talked about today, where it was kind of a
Yeah,
slow build. Kind of takes a little bit to get going, but it does when it does get going, it does culminate into a very good ending because of like we said earlier with the way he weaved the story and weaved everything together to come to this big climax at the end.
yeah, yeah. There you go. I mean, put it on the list.
Put it
Put
on
it on
this. It's
your
on the
list.
list.
If you're
It's
listening,
on
put it on
my
your
yeah.
list.
Put it
Yeah,
on your list.
those of
Watch
you who are
this.
listening, recommended.
Recommended, guys. And you know what else you can recommend? Recommend on podcasts to your friends too, because that's what we do. We get together, we talk about anime, we talk about what we love about it, we talk about what we don't like about it, we talk about if it's good, if it's not good, how far it is, whether you should read it, whether you should watch it. That's what our podcast is about. And it's also about getting in depth to it. Because like we said, we like getting deep sometimes, guys, because we want to spread love. We don't want that hate to overcome us like it did Ichihiko.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what? Reach inside your soul
Yeah.
for the sword.
For the
Oh,
sword, grab your
your
sword
heart.
inside your heart.
Your heart, yeah.
Yeah,
And you know
heart.
what? Reach inside your heart and give us 5 stars. How about that?
Five
We're
stars. We gave this a 4 out of 5, but give us 5 stars. Ah, guys. But yes, please give us those 5 stars. Please share it. Recommend it to your friends. Like I said, we have a ton of episodes where we covered a bunch of different animes. If there's a specific one you're trying to get your friend into, show them our episode if you have it about it. And if you have any recommendations for us, leave them in those comments, guys. We're always looking for recommendations, whether it be shows, movies, anything. Give us those recommendations so we can cover it and talk about it. And also go give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok at Anime Meepod, where we post clips and updates on some special stuff that we got going on because, guys, we do got some stuff special. So you want to be on that so you can be in the know because you don't know, guys. Got some
yeah,
stuff
yeah, but it's coming up.
going.
It's coming. It's
It's
coming.
coming. And the only way to find out is go follow us on there and give us likes on there and drop comments there too. And with that, this has been Anime Pod. I'm Angel. Shows my co-host out, and we will see you on the next one. It is.
Peace.